The adults had their boats, as shown in previous posts, but the youngsters too had their watercrafts. Beginning with a log or board to float on, the children soon learned to connect 2 or more logs to form rafts. The East Bay kids spent more time on the island every summer than the Shaw Point kids, so they made bigger and better rafts. In some cases, the youngsters even built their own boats. Either at the point or in the bay, the smaller adult skiffs were available to the children. Below is a smattering of the crafts that youngsters used almost exclusively. Connie Dahl Durham, East Bay, stands on a kid-made raft with Beth Madsen Sundahl, Shaw Point. This photo was taken in the early 1950s. Virtually all of the kids on the island built rafts to free themselves from the shore. Dahl family photo, BA. Adele Dahl sits with her son Stephen on the C.O. Dahl dock in the mid-1950s. This photo is important as it shows 3 of the craft we used as kids. On the dock is Gert Wellish's boat that she seldom used, but we kids played in often. Note the tiny steering wheel. Our old 10-horse Johnson outboard pushed this boat along nicely. Behind Adele is the green skiff, as well as the small boat we had built over at Moe's several years before. The building of this boat by 2 preteens appears in the Islander chapter called Dry Dock. Dahl family photo, BHA. Long before the popular sport of pulling an inflatable raft behind a boat came into vogue, we had invented it on the island. Pictured is Bob Dahl giving his Charles Atlas pose, or is it a stickman pose? I am standing on a door panel pulled by the green skiff. Background is Jacob Johnson's great-grandfather's home. Dahl family photos. Peter Yanch, Shaw Point, sails past the Hokanson workboat in the Shaw Point harbor. The pointers sailed often. In the background left is Amara, Yench family photo. This pontoon bicycle contraption was brought to the island by someone, and I took it for a spin. I looked to be in my early teens, so this would be in the late 1950s. Little Sand Bay is in the far background. Dahl family photo, BHA. On the beach in East Bay, older sister Connie Dahl Durham sits on a small sailing boat we had built as teens. The boat was actually built in Bayfield by Carl Dahl and Jimmy Edwards, with a little help from me, Bob Dahl. Materials were found under our house on 6th Street. By the time this photo was taken, we had outgrown the small craft. Dahl family photos, BHA. The Shaw Point kids and the East Bay kids intermingled frequently. Although poor photo quality, this shows Shaw Pointers Mary Hewlings Rice forefront and Janet Riggs riding in the green skiff with East Bayers Harold, Bob, and Carl Dahl. We had many fun times using this mode of transportation, as the size and openness of the boat made for a congenial, warm atmosphere. Dahl family photo, BHA. Carl Jr. purchased this small sailboat in which we had many a fun sail around the bay. One such sail is commemorated in the Islander in the chapter titled Riding Out a 3-Day Storm. Shown in photo is Carl left and me on a sail. You will note that we wore life vests when we sailed, since the water was so cold and the shore sometimes was miles away. Dahl family photo. Late 1940s, Carl, Harold, Sharon, and Connie are on 2 rafts and a skiff. These crafts were tied together and secured to Jacob Johnson's dock in East Bay. I believe the skiff belonged at one time to John Shaw, for whom Shaw Point is named. The home in the background belonged to Herman Johnson Sr. and was moved to the Palm property in the 1950s. Dahl family photos, BHA.